Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Crack Grade B. मेरा नाम है ऋषभ. And let's begin today's class for economics and finance issues and analysis. And today we will talk about the Competition Amendment Bill, which will soon be an act. Amendment Act हो जाएगा ये when the President will give her assent. Because in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, this bill is passed. So only President assent is required now. Okay. Good morning, Nivedita. So we will talk about Competition Amendment Bill in detail, do MCQs about Competition Amendment Bill, and as a whole it will be completed. वो 8 नंबर के MCQs आए और questions are asked in like descriptive for 400 or 600 word. Everything will be covered from this PDF. Okay. Okay, now let's start. Good morning, Ankita. So let's see some major highlights of the bill. Major highlights. जब कुछ समझ में ना आए तो ये चीजें भी याद होंगी, काम चल जाएगा. Okay, now the bill seeks to amend the Competition Act 2002. First of all, what was Competition Act? So Competition Act was passed in 2002. It replaced the MRTP Act. ठीक है, Monopolistic and Restrictive Trade Policy 1969 Act, MRTP 1969 Act को replace किया था Competition Act ने 2002 में. Even after the liberalization period of 1991, the MRTP Act was there. So MRTP Act was very restrictive. And before 91, it was so restrictive that it stopped Indian conglomerates to grow bigger. If the company grew bigger than 100 crore, let's say, then the government used to, there was a raid raj. Okay, raid पड़ जाती थी अगर 100 crore से ऊपर होता था. So this MRTP Act had to go. But MRTP Act was amended several times till 2002, and after that Competition Act आ गया. ठीक है, it was formed under Competition Act 2002 by Raghavan Committee report. Raghavan Committee. Okay. So if you have seen Mahuna, you can remember the name Raghavan Committee. Okay. Currently, the chairman, acting chairman is Sangeeta Verma, and director general is IPS Dr. Atul Verma. ये दो मेन हैं लोग. ठीक है. Further, it was once ये जो amendment है 2023 का, it is the second amendment for this bill. The first amendment to this bill was happened in 2007 itself. 2007 में बना था, amendment हुआ था. After that, from 2009, this Competition Act and Competition Commission of India were fully functional. 2002 में पास हुआ बिल, 2003 में Competition Commission of India बना, but fully functional this Competition Act happened only after 2009. Okay. PIB compilation after October 2022. Quick, call in the office. You will be helped about it. Okay. So this will be the second amendment of this Competition Act. 2007 में पहली बार हुआ. Now NCLAT जो हम लोग बार बार सुनते हैं, NCLAT National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, where you can appeal against the order of CCI or Competition Commission of India, was formed in 2017. Okay. So let's start with current amendments. 2002 में बना, 2003 में Competition Commission of India बना, 2003 में, 2007 फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट हुआ, 2009 से फंक्शनल हुआ Competition Act, 2017 में बना NCLAT. Okay. Now let's start from here. The bill seeks to amend the Competition Act of 2002. So bill and act अलग अलग चीजें बात होंगी. Bill क्यों है? Because this bill, amendment bill, is still not an act. Why it is still not an act? Because it has not been given president assent. तो पार्लियामेंट से पास हो गया है, लोकसभा राज्यसभा दोनों जगह से. Okay. Now, deals with transaction value of more than 2000 crore will require CCI approval. ठीक है, CCI का अप्रूवल चाहिए 2000 करोड़ के ऊपर की डील्स के लिए. Why transaction value matters now? This is a new term, transaction value of more than 2000 crore, and we will talk about it later. पहले इट वाज ओनली अराउंड की 1000 करोड़ के एसेट होने चाहिए आपके पास, 1000 करोड़ एसेट, 3000 करोड़ टर्नओवर. Only for those deals CCI was approached. Now transaction value of more than 2000 crore, if you are going to merge for merger or acquisition of more than 2000 crore, then also CCI's approval will be needed. Why? We will talk about later. Okay, the bill proposes to reduce the timeline for the Competition Commission of India to pass an order on such transaction from 210 days to 115 days, 50 days with a conservatory period of 30 days for extension. ठीक है, 210 दिन लगते थे ऑर्डर पास करने में सीसीआई को, ओवरऑल ऑर्डर पास करने में. Okay, now this will be reduced to 150 with a 30-day extension period. For example, for in any case अगर 150 days में नहीं हो पाया, then 30 more days. But 150 days the time will be the timeline for CCI to pass the order. Okay, now bill expands the scope of entities that can be adjust to be the part of anti-competitive agreements. Okay, currently enterprises or person engaged in similar businesses can be held to be part of anti-competitive agreements. Similar businesses like, for example, airplane का business ले लेते हैं. Only Airbus and Boeing are the two companies making commercial planes. ठीक है, सिमिलर बिजनेस है. अगर कार्टेलाइजेशन करते हैं मींस एक साथ आ जाते हैं, ऑलिगोपोली तो है ही, दे कैन डिटरमाइन द प्राइस, क्रिएट एंट्री बैरियर्स, ठीक है, क्रिएट हायर प्राइसेस एंड हैव मोर प्राइसिंग पावर. ठीक है, तो वो मार्केट रेट से ज्यादा डिमांड कर सकते हैं इफ दे मेक अ कार्टेल, ठीक है, और अ ग्रुप. तो द बिल एक्सपेंड्स दिस to also include enterprises or persons who are not engaged in similar businesses. ठीक है, पहले एक्ट में 2002 के एक्ट में सिर्फ ये था कि अगर सिमिलर बिजनेस है और कार्टेलाइजेशन हो रहा है देन ओनली सीसीआई विल कम इन पिक्चर. बट नाउ इवन इफ देर आर नो सिमिलर बिजनेस, अगर बिजनेस सिमिलर नहीं भी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वन कोक कंपनी एंड अदर वाटर कंपनी, if they are also doing cartelization, then also CCI can be approached. Okay. Now the bill provides a framework for settlement and commitment for faster resolution of investigation against abuse of dominant position. Okay. Now the bill decriminalizes certain offences under the Act by changing the nature of punishment from imposition of fine to civil penalties. Means criminal offence से currently the bill will decriminalize, means criminal offense nahi rahega. It will be civil penalty when if certain orders of CCI or Director General of CCI is passed and not followed. Let's say it is not followed, तो उनके ऊपर, उन कंपनीज या फर्म से पर्सन के ऊपर क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस के ऊपर केस नहीं होगा. ओनली सिविल पेनाल्टीज विल बी लेड डाउन. What are fine penalties we will talk about again later. Okay, now key issues and analysis. Key issues means what were the issues with previous bill and what changed in this bill. So the bill expands the power of Director General for investigating contraventions under the Act. Okay, this includes the power to seek information and documents from legal advisors also. Again, we will talk about it later. Okay, the bill mandates depositing 25% of any amount levied by CCI prior to filing an appeal to NCLAT. Also, act means wherever act is written, act means 2002. Bill means 2023. Actually 2022, क्योंकि टेबल कर दिया गया था पार्लियामेंट में 2022 में. ठीक है. So the act allows the use of intellectual property rights as a defense in cases of anti-competitive agreement. ठीक है. Anti-competitive क्यों? Intellectual property right क्या होती है? For example, a pharma company is investing in research and development. ठीक है. तो अब वो research and development में अगर invest करती है pharma company, then they are supposed to get back that money from the customers. ठीक है. तो वो higher prices लेते हैं. And since that is their intellectual property right, no other company can make the same drug. ठीक है. तो एक तरह से क्या होता है, उनका मोनोपोली हो जाता है on certain drug. So this intellectual property right will be अगर ये applicable है, then anti-competitive agreement पे वो के डिफेंस में वो यूज कर सकते हैं. CCI cannot pass orders on that. Okay, but this defense is not available in cases involving abuse of dominant position. For example, the case of Google. Google has a very dominant position in the Indian market or any market per se. Okay, so their Play Store is the only Play Store having more than 80% of support of apps and mobile phones. So they were charging anything between 18 to 30% from the developers. ठीक है, तो NCLAT CCI दोनों ने ऑर्डर पास किया that you will have to pay a fine of around 1337 crores. ठीक है, क्यों? Because Google was abusing the dominant position. But the bill also does not address this gap. People were hoping that the bill will address the gap and IP rights को और dominant position को दोनों में डिफेंस यूज करा जा सके, इसलिए IP rights को in general case और dominant position case दोनों में यूज करा जा सके. This was the hope of the industry, but the bill does not address this gap. Means this procedure will continue. If you are abusing your dominant position, then CCI will act against. Okay, no matter if you have intellectual property rights or not. Okay, now highlights of the bill. Okay, so the Competition Act 2002 was enacted to promote and sustain competition in market, fair competition in market, no cartelization. Okay, protect the interest of consumer, because if there will be competition, there will be innovation, there will be a fair price in the market, and ensure freedom of trade for market participant. Freedom of trade means there is no trade barrier, there is no entry barrier. ठीक है, so that's why more and more people can participate. So it established the Competition Commission of India in 2003 to eliminate practices having adverse effects on market competition. ठीक है. So under the Act, enterprises are not allowed to enter into any anti-competitive agreements which can cause appreciable adverse effect on the competition of India. And persons and enterprises are also not allowed to enter into combination. Combination means any acquisition, merger, etc., which cause or is likely to cause an appreciable adverse effect on the competition within the market of India. मतलब ऐसी कोई एक्विजिशन या मर्जर नहीं होनी चाहिए जिससे एडवर्स इंपैक्ट पड़ता है कंपटीशन पे इन इंडिया में. मींस सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ कंपनीज, ठीक है, कैन नॉट मर्ज टुगेदर टू मेक अ सिंगल यूनिट. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल जोमेटो स्विगी अगर मर्ज हो गए एक साथ, देयर विल बी अ सिंगल डिलीवरी app option, and they will have the pricing power and they can charge you anything for the delivery fees. So it will be anti-competitive. तो ऐसे कोई combination exist नहीं करने चाहिए. This is the work of CCI to check. Okay. Now, how this amendment happened. So in 2018, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs constituted Competition Law Review Committee under the chairmanship of NJP Srinivas. Competition Law Review Committee 2018, NJP Srinivas, which released the report in 2019. Okay, and since 2019 to 2021, we were reeling under COVID. Lockdowns थे, parliament work नहीं कर रही थी ज़्यादा, so this bill was studied but again tabled in the parliament in later half of 2022. In Lok Sabha it was tabled, then it got to the standing committee. From standing committee, everything was approved, etc. Then again it was tabled in Lok Sabha, passed in Lok Sabha on March, I think 27, then passed by Rajya Sabha on April 3rd. तो अब ये पार्लियामेंट से पास हो चुका है, प्रेसिडेंट से पास होना बाकी है. Okay, remember this 2018 Competition Law Review Committee has recommended some things to change in the Competition Act. Okay. So Competition Amendment Bill 2022 was introduced after reviewing the recommendation proposed by Competition Law Review Committee. Okay. Now regulation of combination based on transaction value, very important. अब ये numbers important है, थोड़ा ध्यान लगा के सुन लेंगे सब लोग. So the act prohibits any person or enterprise from entering into a combination which may cause appreciable adverse effect on competition. We have seen it. ठीक है. So combination imply that mergers, acquisition और amalgamation of enterprise. या तो merge हो गए या किसी ने खरीद लिया. Acquisition और amalgamation means they came together like VI. ठीक है. The prohibition applies to transaction where parties involved have cumulative assets of more than 1000 crore and cumulative turnover of more than 3000 crore. This was in Competition Act of 2002. ये दोनों क्लॉज ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट कर रहे थे. क्यूमुलेटिव एसेट ऑफ 1000 करोड़, क्यूमुलेटिव टर्नओवर ऑफ 3000 करोड़. अगर ऐसा कोई मर्जर हो रहा था जहां पे एसेट साइज 1000 करोड़ का था या टर्नओवर ऑफ कंपनीज वाज 3000 करोड़, देन द सीसीआई अप्रूवल वाज रिक्वायर्ड. बट नए जमाने के नए बिजनेस जो कि लॉस मेकिंग हो सकते हैं, बट देयर मार्केट वैल्यूएशन इज मच हायर ड्यू टू द मनी ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स. For example, take example of any company. Take example of Mamaearth, let's say. ठीक है. Not a very high profit making company. Loss making companies are there and want valuations in billions. ठीक है. तो valuation उसकी ज्यादा है उस कंपनी की. So that's why if certain company, other bigger conglomerate, for example, a Reliance wants to take over, let's say Mamaearth, then they will have to pay a higher fees. उनकी मार्केट रेट जितनी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट अस सपोज 2 billion rupees they are, let's say they say that we are a $2 billion यूनिकॉर्न कंपनी. ठीक है. $2 billion हमारी वर्थ है. दो देयर प्रॉफिट्स एंड टर्नओवर आर वेरी लेस. ठीक है. मान लो 50 करोड़ का ही प्रॉफिट टर्नओवर है, ये एसेट तो है ही नहीं. कोई भी अगर द कंपनीज दैट आर डिजिटल कंपनीज, डिजिटल पेमेंट कंपनी, दे डू नॉट हैव दैट मच एसेट. ठीक है. उनके पास एसेट साइज तो कुछ होता नहीं है. 1000 करोड़ का एसेट हो ऐसा कुछ जरूरी नहीं. उनका टर्नओवर 3000 करोड़ हो ये भी जरूरी नहीं है. टर्नओवर ऑफ सच कंपनीज आर वेरी लो. ठीक है. न्यू स्टार्टअप्स, बट देयर वैल्यूएशंस आर वेरी हाई. ठीक है. सो इसीलिए दैट्स व्हाई द बिल एक्सपैंड्स द डेफिनेशन ऑफ कॉम्बिनेशन एंड इंक्लूड्स ट्रांजैक्शन विथ वैल्यू अबव 2000 करोड़ ऑल्सो. ठीक है. वैल्यू ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन, इफ वैल्यू ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन is above 2000 crore, no matter your company has a turnover of 3000 crore or not, asset size of 1000 crore or not, but if the value of the transaction is above 2000 crore, the CCI approval will be required. क्यों? क्योंकि ये जो न्यू एज कंपनीज हैं, they are valued higher than what the turnover that they are getting. इनके फ्यूचर को देख के इनकी वैल्यूज को निकाला जाता है. ठीक है. The values are deducted seeing the future potential of such companies. That's why bill expands the definition of combination that includes a value of above 2000 crores. Okay. Now time limit for approval. So Act requires the CCI to pass an order on an application for approval of combination within 210 days. Act of 2002. But the bill of 2022, this reduces the time limit to 150 days. Remember, time limit has been reduced from 210 days to 150 days for CCI to pass order with a conservatory period of 30 days for extension. Okay, remember these two numbers very important. Okay. Now, definition of control for classification of combination. So the bill modifies the definition of control as ability to exercise material influence over management affairs or strategic commercial decisions. ठीक है. The Act defines control as control over the affairs or management by any one or more enterprises over another enterprises or group. ठीक है. तो Act और bill जहां भी आएगा, एक्ट मीन्स 2002 पुराना वाला, बिल मीन्स 2002. सो मॉडिफाई क्या हुआ इस बिल में. ठीक है. अर्लियर इट ओनली डिफाइंड फॉर अफेयर्स और मैनेजमेंट, डे टू डे अफेयर्स और मैनेजमेंट. अगर कोई कंपनी या फर्म या पर्सन ग्रुप is affecting, okay, or has a control over the decisions related to affairs or management of other enterprise, then it was classified for CCI to go and check. बट इसमें एक और टर्म जुड़ गया है, स्ट्रेटेजिक कमर्शियल डिसीजंस. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से टेक अ केस ऑफ माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एंड नोकिया. सो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट हैड अ वेरी the ex-CEO of the Nokia CEO then go on to become the key managerial position officer of Microsoft. So Microsoft has a controlling power in the strategic commercial decisions of Nokia at one time. इसीलिए Nokia never went for Android when it was booming, and instead it get into the deal with Nokia because Microsoft was influencing the decision making of Nokia. तो ऐसे strategic commercial decisions को भी अब Competition Commission of India इंस्पेक्ट कर सकता है. Okay. Now important term, gun jumping. Okay, gun jumping. So the party should not go ahead with a combination prior to its approval. Prior to CCI's approval. So if the combining parties close a notified transaction before approval, it is seen as gun jumping. ठीक है, बिना अप्रूवल के ट्रांजैक्शन क्लोज कर दिया. ऐसे ट्रांजैक्शन जो 2000 करोड़ रुपए की डील वैल्यू से ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू से ज्यादा है, 3000 करोड़ से ज्यादा उनका अगर टर्नओवर है और 1000 करोड़ से ज्यादा एसेट है, then it will be called gun jumping, where approval of CCI was required and not taken, but the combining parties closed the transaction. It will be called gun jumping. So the penalty for gun jumping was 1% of asset or turnover as per earlier definition, but now it is proposed to be 1% of the deal value. डील वैल्यू मीन्स फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्टार्टअप को ही सोच के चलो डील वैल्यू में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक स्टार्टअप है जिसका टर्नओवर 100 करोड़ है और उसकी मार्केट वैल्यूएशन इज $2 बिलियन. ठीक है, सो डील वैल्यू उसकी क्या होगी, $2 बिलियन, और उसका टर्नओवर 100 करोड़ है, 3000 करोड़ के नीचे है. इट विल नॉट कम अंडर CCI's द आईज ऑफ CCI. ठीक है, तो इसको अगर ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू को चेंज किया गया है, ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू को इंक्लूड किया गया है फॉर CCI टू इंस्पेक्ट, देन जो भी डील वैल्यू होगी उसका 1% लगेगा इफ देयर विल बी अ केस ऑफ गन जंपिंग. ओके, नाउ anti-competitive agreements. So any agreement related to production, supply, storage, or control of goods and services which can cause an appreciable adverse effect on competition of India. ठीक है, अब ये कैसे कैसे होते हैं, directly or indirectly determining purchase or sale prices, controlling production, supply, market or provision of services, and directly or indirectly leading to collusive bidding. ठीक है, cartelization. So agreement between enterprises engaged in identical or similar businesses which will affect the competition in India, like in these three procedures, anti-competitive agreement में CCI का role आ जाएगा. Now the bill adds that enterprises or persons not engaged in identical or similar business shall be presumed to be a part of such agreement if they actively participate in furtherance of such agreement. Means, for example, दो companies हैं इंडिया में, तीन कंपनी है मान लो. There are three companies for telecom in India. Mostly three companies are there in for telecom. But if a fourth person who is not involved in, let's say, telecom, but he wants to influence the decision making of telecom company, then also he can also be probed by CCI. The fourth person who wants to get an entry into the telecom as a telecom operator of India with a 5G band license etc. तो ऐसे पर्सन्स को भी जो अभी डायरेक्टली उस बिजनेस का पार्ट नहीं है, सिमिलर बिजनेस का, बट दे हैव द authority or control to influence the decision of those similar businesses, then they can also be probed by CCI. Okay. Okay, now settlement and commitment in anti-competitive proceedings. So under the Act means 2002, CCI may initiate proceeding against enterprises on the grounds of entering into anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position, like let's say example of Google, include discriminatory conditions in the purchase or sale of goods, restricting production of goods or services, or indulging in practices leading to denial of market access. ठीक है, एज इन केस ऑफ गूगल, वो अपना प्ले स्टोर तब तक नहीं एक्सेस करने देता था जब तक आप अपना उस गूगल के थ्रू पेमेंट सिस्टम नहीं यूज करते थे. ओके, द बिल परमिट CCI टू क्लोज इंक्वायरी प्रोसीडिंग्स if the enterprises offer settlement or commitments. Okay, this means, अब ये बिल की बात हो रही है, bill means 2022 bill. Okay, the bill permits CCI to close inquiry proceedings in the case of this anti-competitive agreement if out of court settlement means payment of penalty is done or commitment is made by the company. For example, in case of Google has to pay settlement of 1,337 crore and made a commitment that the Google will allow different UPI card platforms to work in tandem with Google Pay. ठीक है, so both settlement and commitments in case of Google. एग्जाम्पल से समझोगे तो याद रहेगा, सेटलमेंट भी होगा, कमिटमेंट भी होगा. अगर ऐसा होता है, so these inquiry proceedings will be closed. Okay. Okay, now the decriminalization of certain offenses. So this includes, the bill changes the nature of punishment from offenses from imposition to fine to penalty. Oh, these offenses include failure to comply with orders of CCI and direction of Director General with regard to anti-competitive agreement. This does not include frauds. ठीक है, decriminalization of frauds will not be there. Decriminalization only in case when a CCI order is passed or Director General order is passed and those orders are not complied by the firms or the persons, then only you will get penalty. A fine or penalty में क्या अंतर है? Imposition of fine means that imposition of fine will refer that it is a criminal offense. Imposition of fine means it will be considered as criminal offense. Fine कब लगता है? When there is a court order. ठीक है, a court order is required to give to put up fines. Court order चाहिए, criminal offense हो जाता है, तो criminality हटाई जा रही है and only a penalty. Penalty क्यों लगती है? Penalty is a out of court. It is out of court and civil penalty. तो decriminalize किया जाएगा किस चीज को? If you are not adhering to the or complying to the orders of CCI, only in that case, not in the case of frauds or any other thing. ठीक है, तो आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट होगा, पेनाल्टी दीजिए, काम खत्म आपका, कोर्ट जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, डिक्रिमिनलाइजेशन हो जाएगा, ओनली सिविल पेनाल्टी. ओके, रिमेंबर दिस, डिक्रिमिनलाइजेशन, रिमेंबर इट. नाउ की इश्यूज. So we have talked about it. Let's see this. The CCI has to perform a prima facie opinion about filing related to a combination within 30 days of receiving the file. ठीक है, मीन्स अब वो 150 डेज में ऑर्डर पास करना है, 150 डेज में ऑर्डर पास करना है, वो याद रखना. ये 30 डेज की बात क्या हो रही है? दिस मीन्स दैट CCI has to consider if the CCI wants to go ahead with the case or not. ठीक है, अपना एक prima facie opinion बना के रखना होगा CCI को within 30 days. Now what has changed? That earlier it was 30 working days. Earlier it was 30 working days. Now this has changed to 30 calendar days. ठीक है, including Saturdays and Sundays. 30 working days में Saturday Sunday नहीं आता था CCI के. It has changed. Now to make a prima facie opinion about a case, CCI has 30 days, not 30 working days as earlier. Okay. Now, of late, acquisition in digital markets are valued based on data or certain business innovations of the company being acquired. ठीक है, as I have told you, क्योंकि न्यू एज कंपनीज हैं, उनका टर्नओवर होता नहीं है, वो लॉस में भी होती है, तो हाई वैल्यूएशन पे जाती है. ठीक है, इसमें एक एग्जांपल दिया है फेसबुक एंड व्हाट्सएप का, बट यू कैन सी मल्टीपल थिंग्स इन इंडिया ऑल्सो. फ्लिपकार्ट गॉट अ $6 billion or $16 billion deal. It was a loss making company and Walmart purchased it at billions of dollars. ठीक है, and it did not come under the CCI. Okay. So in such transaction, the target may not have large asset base of around 1000 crore, or may not be in line of business where product services are given free, and may be in the line of businesses where product services are given free or it generate insignificant revenue, means revenue less than 3000 crore. अब ऐसी कंपनीज के लिए क्या है, वही 2000 करोड़ का अगर आपका डील हो रहा है, then CCI will get involved. So example है, Facebook acquired the WhatsApp in 2014 for $19 billion. Between January to June 2014, WhatsApp revenue was only $15 million and the net loss of $233 million. Okay? ठीक है, तो the CCI currently lacks the legal framework to evaluate such type of deals, but not anymore. In the bill, this turnover criteria means in the bill, the deal value criteria is added now. The deal value criteria is added. Oh, कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, शिवम, कंपटीशन एक्ट से बना कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. ठीक है, कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया में 2022 तक ऐसा कोई प्रोसीजर नहीं था कि वो डील की ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू को देख के एक्ट कर सकते, बट अब वो पावर आ जाएगी व्हेन दिस अमेंडमेंट एक्ट इज फुली पास्ड एंड गिवन एसेंट बाय द प्रेसिडेंट. ठीक है, 2000 करोड़ की अगर डील होगी, देन द सीसीआई अप्रूवल विल बी रिक्वायर्ड. Okay, now the power of Director General. So certain changes are made for Director General. So earlier the central government was empowered to appoint a Director General to CCI. But now Competition Commission of India itself can appoint the Director General. How? The Competition Commission of India has one chairman plus 6 members. ठीक है, these people will appoint the Director General, but a prior approval of the central government will be required. But जैसे पहले सिर्फ डायरेक्ट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अपॉइंट करती थी, now the amendment will give the power to Competition Commission of India chairman and the member themselves. Remember this. Okay. Now the bill expands the power of Director General for investigating contraventions under the Act. This includes the power to seek information and documents from legal advisors also. What does this mean? So, under the India Evidence Act, legal advisor से जो आप बात करते हैं, it is covered under client confidentiality. ठीक है, it is covered under client confidentiality. Means what you talk with your legal advisors or lawyer or wakil, the police cannot have those things, ठीक है, and use it as an evidence against your, let's say, client. ठीक है, तो client lawyer का confidentiality होता है. The police cannot get under the Evidence Act the evidences from the lawyer against the client or of his own client. ठीक है, but under the bill, under the competition amendment bill, अब ये पावर होगी डायरेक्टर जनरल के पास that the director general can seek information from the lawyer or legal advisors of the client who is getting investigated by CCI, and the legal advisors will have to give information. तो ये client confidentiality का जो privilege था वो खत्म हो जाएगा. ठीक है, it supersedes the power of India Evidence Act. So the bill specifies that all officers, employees and agents of a party under investigation shall produce all information and documents related to the party to the Director General, including the legal advice. Okay, so ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, because if you are talking to your own lawyer, it is under a confidentiality oath, but this has gone away with the new Competition Commission Amendment Bill. Okay, now simple things we will read. So the bill requires the appellants to deposit 25% of the amount that is to be paid under any order passed by GCI in a manner specified by NC L8. Why? Because the rate was very low. Okay? The rate of conviction is very low because the parties or the appellants from NCLAT they go to High Court, from there they go to Supreme Court. ठीक है, तो उतनी ज्यादा वसूली हो नहीं पाती है जितना फाइन्स या पेनाल्टीज लगाई जाती है. सो फॉर against CCI order or Competition Commission of India Act order which the CCI has to pass within 150 days, अगर वो पास नहीं कर पाती, ठीक, पास कर देती है आपके अगेंस्ट में, if the order is passed against you or your firm, then if you want to go and appeal to the National Company Law Tribunal, Appellate Tribunal, अपील करने के लिए Appellate Tribunal जाओगे, but you will have to first deposit 25% of your fine amount. For example, in case of Google, 1337 करोड़ का उस पे पेनाल्टी लगाया गया by CCI. So to move to NCLAT, the Google from now on, when the bill will be passed, the Google or any other company will have to give 1/4 of the amount, 25% means 1/4 of the amount to the CCI. Then only you can go to NCLAT so that your anything can be heard, any appeal of your can be heard. 25% डिपॉजिट करना जरूरी हो जाएगा आफ्टर दिस बिल बिकम्स एन एक्ट. ओके, unless this amount is deposited, the person appeal will not be considered by NCLAT. Remember this, the person appeal will not be considered by NCLAT. Okay, so for filing false information, again you will be charged. अगर false information देते हो, penalty of 5 crore rupees will be imposed. And failure to comply with commission direction, a penalty of 10 crore will be imposed. So we have talked about it. हमने बात की है इस बारे में कि अगर CCI का कोई ऑर्डर आता है या डायरेक्टर जनरल का ऑर्डर आता है, so it will not be a criminal offense, you will not be fined, you will be penalized. पेनाल्टी लगेगी, वो पेनाल्टी कितनी होगी? 10 करोड़, 10 crore penalty if you are not complying with the order of CCI. And if you are filing false information, then a penalty of 5 crore rupees will be put up upon you. Remember these two penalties. Okay. Now the Competition Amendment Bill allows CCI to penalize entities found engaging in anti-competitive behavior based on their global turnover as opposed to their income in India alone. Very big change. Big tech companies, the global big fives like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, everyone will come under this. Everyone. So the amendment bill, very important line, amendment bill allows CCI to penalize entities found engaging in anti-competitive behavior based on their global turnover as opposed to their income in India alone. For example, let's say Google का तो केस खत्म हो गया. For example, अब Microsoft के ऊपर या Amazon के ऊपर for anti-competitive practices regarding let's say this e-commerce, अगर Amazon के ऊपर अब केस खोलती है CCI, then the CCI will be able to penalize entity according to their global turnover and not just what they earn in India. In India, Amazon shows that they are not no profit company. ठीक है, तो उनके प्रॉफिट या उनके सिर्फ इनकम फ्रॉम इंडिया को नहीं देखेगी, ग्लोबल टर्नओवर को देखेगी, एंड द पेनाल्टीज विल बी इन अकॉर्डेंस विद देयर ग्लोबल टर्नओवर. जितना ज्यादा कमाओगे उतनी ज्यादा पेनाल्टी देनी पड़ेगी फॉर द ग्लोबल बिग टेक कंपनीज. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोविजन. ठीक है, ग्लोबल टर्नओवर पे बेस्ड होगा, नेशनल टर्नओवर पे बेस्ड नहीं होगा फॉर पेनाल्टीज. ओके, नाउ the Act also empowers CCI to pass orders in relation to anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position by imposing a penalty that can either go up to 10% of the average income or turnover for the preceding financial year. अब ये जो ग्लोबल टर्नओवर चेक करेंगे तो पिछले 3 साल में उसका एवरेज इनकम कितना है, मींस ग्लोबल टर्नओवर पिछले 3 साल में कितनी है. फॉर एग्जांपल बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स है. ठीक है, ग्लोबल टर्नओवर इज बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर. 10% ऑफ दैट ग्लोबल टर्नओवर, average global turnover, will be pushed as penalty on these big tech companies. Very big number, very big number. ठीक है, Amazon के ऊपर अगर उनके ग्लोबल टर्नओवर पे 10% लगाएगी and not just national income of Amazon, it will be a very big number to pay as a penalty. ठीक है, और एक बात याद रखनी है कि पिछले 3 साल का ग्लोबल टर्नओवर एवरेज लिया जाएगा. Okay, note that between 2011 to 2018, 13,000 crore was imposed as penalty by CCI, in which only 121 crore was realized. That's why 25% will be compulsory to give before you reach the NCLAT with your appeal. Okay. So according to CCI, the low rate of recovery was due to its several orders being appealed before NCLAT, Supreme Court, or challenged before the High Court. Okay. Now, this is a short thing. We will complete this. So IPR is not allowed as defense in case of abuse of dominant position. ठीक है, पहले भी नहीं होता था, अब भी नहीं होगा. The Act 2002 does not allow the use of IP rights as a defense in case of abuse of dominant position. अगर आपकी dominant position है, for example Google का example ले लो, and the bill also does not address this gap. ठीक है, Google has an IP right over its own Play Store, बिल्कुल सही जवाब. But it also has a dominant position which it is abusing. उसके पास 89% मार्केट शेयर है इंडिया में मोबाइल का, मोबाइल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का, and it is using its power, pricing power and dominant power to push the developers to only subscribe to its own payment methods and charging commissions like 18 to 30%. ठीक है, तो ऐसे केसेस में आप अपना आईपी राइट्स यूज नहीं कर सकते इन द डिफेंस अगेंस्ट सीसीएल. ओके. नाउ क्वालिफिकेशंस ऑफ मेंबर्स ऑफ सीसीएल. सबसे पहली बात, प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ 15 years विल बी रिक्वायर्ड. Professional experience of at least 15 years will be required to be a member of CCL. 15 साल experience याद रखना. और पहले in the Act of 2002, 5 domains were specified. और ये domains क्या थे? Economics, competition matter, law, management and business. These 5 domains were specified. और 15 साल का experience, professional experience जरूरी होता है to be the chairperson or the one of the 6 members of CCI. ठीक है, a new domain is added in the form of technology. ठीक है, the bill expands this to include experience in the field of technology. So apart from economy, competition, law, management and business, the new thing that the bill adds for 15-year professional experience, it is technology. If you have a field of technology, अगर आप बीटेक आईटी या सीएस से किए हुए हैं and you have a 15-year professional experience in the field of IT, okay, then also you can apply to be a member of CCI or Competition Commission of India, and not just, let's say, economics, law, management, business, etc. Okay, so this completes overall our Competition Commission Amendment Bill. Now from this PDF you can write good answer, you can answer any questions that is asked in multiple choice also. So we will start doing multiple choice questions. तो अगेन स्टार्ट, कुर्सी की पेटी बांध लीजिए और सवाल जवाब के लिए तैयार हो जाइए. तो नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, which of the following is incorrect about the Competition Act? Competition Act 2002. Answer please answer in the comments. Correct, Aniket. C is the right answer. Any more? कोई बचा है, कोई शेर जवाब? So C is the right answer. Competition Act is getting amended for the second time. For the first time, it was amended in 2007. So C is the right answer because it is obviously it is wrong. It is not the first time. Okay. Now question number 2. The dash was repealed and replaced by Competition Act 2002. Those people who are not here in live and those who will be watching recording, try it. A lot of MCQs is there, means for this competition act. Try it and your concept and retention will be clear. Correct, Aniket, correct, Nivedita. It is the MRTP Act of 1969. Amended several times, but 1969 का है ये. ठीक है. Now, which of the following is correct regarding the Competition Act amendment? Correct, Aniket. It's E. Let's see. So in 2018, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, remember this ministry, Ministry of Corporate Affairs constituted Commission Law Review Committee. अब इसकी रिपोर्ट कब आई? 2019 में. And it was chaired by JP Srinivas. Correct, Nivedita. You are right. Is the correct answer. Remember, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay. Now, for regulation of combination based on transaction value, which of the following is correct? For regulation of combination only. भूल जाओ इसको. For regulation of combination, which of the following is correct? Correct, Aniket. Correct, Nivedita. Right. So D is the right answer here, both A and C. So cumulative asset of more than 1000 crore, right? And the bill expand definition to include deal transaction value of above 2000 crore. Okay? With the new norms of businesses, means business having losses, but having a higher market valuation. ठीक है, इसलिए आया है ये transaction value bill. But here 5000 crore नहीं है, this is 3000 crore annual turnover. Okay, let's move forward. Question number 5. For the time limit for approval of combination, the time limit has been reduced from dash to dash. Simple dash. Correct, Aniket. Right. Very important to know these things. ठीक है, it has been reduced from 210 to 150. From 210 to 150. Okay, 210 दिन से घटा के 150 दिन. Okay. Now, so if the combining parties close a notified transaction before the approval of CCI, it is seen as dash. Correct, Nivedita? Yes, correct. Right. Correct, Aniket. कुछ सही जवाब. C, gun jumping is the correct answer. So the penalty for gun jumping was a total of 1% of asset or turnover. This is now proposed to be 1% of the dash. Okay, correct, Aniket. Right. Correct, Nivedita. 1% of the deal value. Okay. Or somewhere it can be written as transaction value, but deal value is the will be a right choice. ठीक है, या तो deal value लिखाओ या transaction value लिखाओ, both will be correct. Okay, now some offenses like failure to comply with orders of CCI and directions of Director General. The bill changes the nature of punishment from imposition of dash. Yes, but B will be a better choice. Okay, from fine to penalty. From fine to penalty. ठीक है, yes, D will also be right. दोनों में अगर दो आए तो फाइन टू पेनाल्टी लगाना, but it is not a criminal offense now because penalty is now a penalties are civil offense. ठीक है, from fine to penalty. Both will be right, but fine to penalty, remember this. क्योंकि फाइन लगता है जब कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आ जाता है, तब पेनाल्टी लगती है आउट ऑफ कोर्ट. ओके. Okay, now the CCI has to form a prima facie opinion about a filing related to a combination within dash of receiving the filing. Correct, Nivedita. Yes, Aniket, that is calendar days. That's why it will be B. The correct answer will be B. 30 days only. No working days वाला concept ही नहीं. 30 days. Okay, 30 days means 30 calendar days. Okay. पहले working days था 30 working days. In the Act 2002, the bill proposed to amend it to 30 days. It has amended, just a president nod is required. Okay, now regarding the Director General of CCI, which of the following is incorrect? Correct, Adhikar. The amendment gives power to CCI to appoint Director General with approval of central government, obviously. Okay. Any more answers? Okay, no answer. ठीक है, correct है. B is the right answer. Appoint करने की power देता है, but you have to have the nod of central government. Okay, now this. The bill requires the appellants to deposit dash of the amount that is to be paid under any order passed by CCI in a manner as specified by NCLAT. Correct, Aniket? Any more trials by anyone? Correct, it's 25%. Okay. Now, which of the following is correct are correct regarding the penalties in the competition amendment bill? Correct, Aniket. It's D, both A and B, because here, based on their global turnover. Okay, global turnover देखा जाएगा as per the amendment bill. Remember this. Bill will be passed. Correct, Aniket. Okay, now this is the last question. As per the Act, the chairperson and members of CCI should have professional experience of at least dash years, and the bill expands this to include the experience in the field of dash. Now remember this, the bill expands, it is not talking about the Act in the second line. Okay. As per the Act of 2000. Correct, Nivedita? Right. Correct, Aniket. You are also right. Take a professional experience of 15 years and expands for the field of technology. So C is the correct answer. So this is it for today, I think. Yes. Okay. So thank you for joining, everyone. It was a long class. I hope you like the lecture, and overall everything about competition amendment bill is in this PDF. You can use it for anything, to write answers, to write good answers, to do MCQs and everything. Thank you for joining, everyone. I hope you like the lecture. अगर आज के lecture से आपके knowledge में value add हुई है तो do like and share. And then the next class, तब तक के लिए thank you, bye bye. And if you have any queries, you can reach out to me on Telegram or the open group. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.